Welcome to another video on Sports Quick. Today, we are going to be talking about BountyGate and how the NFL mishandled, in my opinion, what they should have done and what they could have done with the entire BountyGate thing. So, when NFL fans hear the words BountyGate, they instantly link it to the New Orleans Saints during the 2009 to 2011 season after the NFL harshly punished them in 2012. The initial punishment after it was discovered that the defensive coordinator Greg Williams was offering bonuses of around $1,000 to $2,000 to players for big hits or entering the opposing team, and also introducing something that was called a cart hit, where they would require a cart to come out, supposedly would gain a big bonus. However, it was later admitted by the NFL that the NFL came up with the term cart hit and that it was not something being used by the Saints. It is also noted that head coach Sean Payton, the defensive assistant coach who helped orchestrate all this, Joe Vitt, and general manager Mickey Loomis had knowledge of what was going on. We're going to get more into this whole Joe Vitt thing later on. So, although there is solid evidence and proof that this program was in place, and even Greg Williams admitted to running the program, he also admitted to running similar programs in the past with the Titans, the Bills, the Redskins, and the Jaguars. So, this was the fifth time he was doing it. However, during those seasons, the 2009 to 2011 seasons, the Saints actually had far fewer actual fined penalties and suspensions than the average NFL team. So that alone is some proof that the program may not have worked as much as Greg Williams may have hoped for it to. And that suspending six different players on the team for something that, yes, they were potentially involved in, but they might not have to doing as much as what they were supposed to be doing. So the initial penalties from this BountyGate were that Williams would be suspended indefinitely. Peyton would be suspended for one season. Linebacker Jonathan Velma was to be suspended for the entire 2011 season as well. Why Loomis, Vitt, and three other players drew multi-game suspensions. The Saints were also fined $500,000 and stripped of 2 draft picks. The NFL then appointed former commissioner Paul Tagliabue to oversee the players' appeal cases. The NFL Player Association was very upset by this. They said that they wanted someone fair to come in and roll over them. However, he then ruled heavily in the players' favor, putting as he literally said, power hungry Goodell in his place and completely removing the suspensions on all the players. The reason why he removed the suspensions is that the players in the NFL do not have what he said a freedom of choice. And what he meant by that is if you are not to listen to your coaches, if your coach says hit him hard and you say no coach, I'm not hitting him hard, and then you don't hit him hard and then you just completely don't listen to your coaches, you're going to be a free agent. You are not going to be on a team and you might lose your job. You might be out of your job. You might not get another chance to the NFL. So he based it on the players were doing as their higher ups were told. They are the employees, not the employers, are doing what their employer is telling them to do. They should not be punished. And he completely pulled the suspensions. No players got suspended from the entire BountyGate thing. The suspensions, however, stayed on Williams. He was still suspended indefinitely at the time. And Sean Payton got suspended for a year. Filling in for Sean Payton, Joe Vitt, the one who helped Greg Williams set this all up, became the interim head coach for the Saints for that season where Sean Payton was out. Williams was fired by the Saints. Actually, before the entire thing blew up, he was actually out of New Orleans and was hired by the Rams. The Rams then, after the whole thing, he got suspended indefinitely. 2 months later, he was out of his job with the Rams. And then the following year, after being suspended indefinitely, had his suspension removed by him pledging to Roger Goodell that he would no longer run a bonus system for the players of any kind. So he kind of bounced around for a little bit after that. He was rehired, or he was hired by the Titans, then went back to the Rams, then went to the Browns, and is still defense coordinator today for the New York Jets. So was BountyGate bad? Yes. But it is something that is semi-common in the NFL to see around other teams. There's, I said before, Greg Williams ran it on 4 other teams before he ran it on the Saints. None of those 4 other teams got in trouble whatsoever from it. Similar cases that have had small fines in 2007. The New England Patriots got a small fine that went to the team, didn't touch the players, and no suspensions were handed out, but it was for a pay for performance pool. So it wasn't a you injure him, you get money. It was all these players were pitching in money to a pool. And then at the end of the game on Sunday, let's say Tom Brady went out there and threw 5 touchdown passes, he would get the pull because he had the best game. Devin McCourty comes out there, has 3 interceptions, he's getting the pull. So it was going to the player who had the best game. Not allowed. The Packers also did something very similar in 2008. So everyone who is involved in BountyGate, where are they now, you might ask? Sean Payton, the head coach who knew about it, was suspended for a year, kept his job in New Orleans. He continued to be the head coach for the New Orleans. Joe Vitt, he took over as the interim head coach for the Saints during his suspension, and he has now moved on to be the defensive assistant and outside linebacker coach for the New York Jets under defensive coordinator Greg Williams, the man who orchestrated the BountyGate scandal with the help originally of Joe Vitt. So they are together right now for the New York Jets. Oh, and general manager Mickey Loomis, yeah, he's still the general manager for the Saints, while also becoming the head of basketball operations for the Pelicans in 2012, which was the same summer when BountyGate came to fruition. So BountyGate, very immoral, not something that you want to see, not something that you want to have a team do at all. And the suspensions and all the punishment handed down didn't really seem to affect anything. The Saints are still a top team in the NFL. They never even have an off year. They lost their head coach for one season. They had already replaced their defensive coordinator who got suspended somewhere else. They didn't lose their general manager. They got fined 2 draft picks, but they weren't in the same draft. They said they were going to lose a first and a second round pick. However, the first round pick had already been traded to bring in Mark Ingram. So they had already moved out their first round pick, that pick. So they lost their second round pick one year and then the first round pick the following year. So they were able to spread out this punishment that the NFL was trying to be as harsh as they could with. And it backfired on the NFL, especially when former NFL commissioners stepped in and said, you are not suspending any of these players for their involvement. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.